gentlemen, the wait is over. It is now time for the main event of the evening. 6 3-minute rounds for the interim BKB Police Gazette Diamond Lightweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by Clue Nicotine Pouches. Our referee in charge when the bell rings is Wayne Spinola. So, for those of you tuning in around the world, to those of you joining us here live in Jacksonville, Florida, are you ready to make history? Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks, he stands 5 feet, 8 inches tall. He weighed in at 131 pounds. He holds an even bare knuckle record of 1 victory versus 1 defeat. And he fights out of Nuevitas, Camagüey, Cuba. Damas y caballeros, presentando Jorge Bargallo. And now his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with red trim. He stands 5 feet, 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He holds a bare knuckle record of 7 victories versus 2 defeats, with 6 of those 7 wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Broward County, Florida, introducing the former world champion, ladies and gentlemen, Jarod "Kid Gotti" Grant.
Wayne Spinola, our referee for this, our main event of the evening. Interim lightweight belt on the line. Fight scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds. Here we go! Jarod Grant, Kid Gotti in the red and black trunks. Jorge Bargallo in the white trunks. 7 wins, 6 finishes for Jarod Grant. 1 win, 1 finish for Jorge Bargallo. Came to the States from Cuba 8 years ago.
Bargallo, a bit of an awkwardness, so can't throw off the customary boxing of Grant. That's why he's taking his time, he's keeping a tight defense, kind of using the trigon and seeing the manner in which Bargallo's attacking. But he's processing, trust me, he's processing. Grant is the kind of guy who starts to get your timing, starts to counter you well.
Very slick boxing, speed, precision. He says he knows when to be aggressive. He's also confident he can finish a fight at any given moment.
You're trying to see at what speed and what kind of punch selection Bargallo's going to choose. Remember, this is a change of opponent. Bargallo's coming out very aggressive while Gotti's taking the opposite approach and sort of processing everything he's bringing. Bargallo's not landing most of those, and even whatever is landing is only partially landing. So Grant's still under control, even if Bargallo may have the advantage in this round so far because of his activity.
And as we talked about on camera, Pauline, you just said again, it is a totally different opponent for Jarod Grant, but he said it's still the same fight and it'll still be the same result, and that'll be my arm raised and that belt put around my waist. Time will tell. Our main event of the evening.
Now Grant starts to shoot that jab. Oh, he might have cut it. I don't know, maybe that opened up a cut. We haven't seen Bargallo's face yet.
He did have a message, he said.
Yeah, that did open up.
Yep.
It opened up a nice jab by Grant.
We always ask our fighters areas of improvement or emphasis, you know, and they're very truthful with us, what they've been working on. Jarod Grant said, I actually need to stop improving because our matchmaker Mel Valenzuela is having a hard time matching me up with guys that will take a fight against me.
I'll tell you what, he looks good here so far. I mean,
yes, he
hasn't thrown a lot of punches, but his defense has been sharp. I was going to say maybe Bargallo was winning the round on activity, but after that sharp jab, let Gotti landed, and Gotti Grant landed, sorry, and also just the fact that his defense is just so smooth. You know, they said Willie Pep went around without throwing a punch. If you can still do that, Grant is showing that right now.
Absolutely.
That's another nice jab by Grant. He's the one who's
trust in his coach, Ryan Perez, too.
And he's the one who's landing sharp, although Bargallo finally landed a jab there as well.
Round number 2. Kid Gotti in the red and black trunks. That is Jarod Grant. Jorge Bargallo in the white trunks. The jab caused a cut, but both men still explosive early, a lot of movement. Got all the makings of a fun fight. And Bargallo, you can tell his game. He's not affected at all from being the man who was going to start in the prelims to the man who's got a chance to finish the show in style in our main event of the evening.
Bargallo's lively, just, you know, his game is very slippery.
Yep.
Now Grant's on hold his ground a little bit, looking to counter that jab.
And now it's Bargallo with a smile on his face.
I mean, I don't know if Bargallo didn't land either, you know. I know he slipped the counter right hand of Grant. Bargallo burns a lot of energy. Again, he's, like I said, he's lively.
Yep. Good shots by Jorge Bargallo.
But are they really good shots, Goldie?
Yeah. Well, they were good shots, but they didn't land. Good throws, there you go.
Grant, though, is going to have to start countering some of these. See a sharp jab again. Otherwise, the activity of Bargallo may influence the judges.
Midway point of round 2. Title fights are 6 rounds. Very highly decorated amateur boxing career with the gloves on for Jarod Grant. 50-5 as an amateur, and I mentioned you before, Paulie, National Sugar Burt champion.
Yeah. That's a good tournament to win, too. It wasn't around when I was an amateur, but I've been to it, and I've seen a lot of good competition there. Another nice jab. Good stabs there by Grant every once in a while when he does throw. Good counter right hand there by Grant as Bargallo tried to get aggressive. But you see Bargallo will take them and keep being aggressive. You see the blood now coming out of the mouth of Bargallo. Another counter.
Well done, Jorge Bargallo, but you still got to take the 8 count.
I tell you, Grant is so efficient with his output. It's not a lot of output, but he makes a count. Bargallo, on the other hand, is super excited, but wastes a lot of energy, and that energy is starting to work against him now because Grant is starting to really get the timing on that awkward offense of Bargallo.
That is a very creative way to get up after being knocked out, though.
No, spring right up, right? Let him know it didn't affect you.
Like an Olympic gymnast.
It'll still cost you an extra point on the scorecard there.
10 seconds, respect the bell.
Anticipation.
Absolutely. And somewhat knowing what's coming because it came earlier, much to your point.
Yeah. Anticipation.
And he adjusted the second time. High fight IQ has always been on the asset side of the list of skills for Jarod Grant. Round 3, fight scheduled for 6. Knockdown scored in the last round by Kid Gotti, Jarod Grant. Said hands up, walk him down, throw bombs. Use my boxing technique.
Watch the back of the head, watch the back of the head.
I tell you, man, Grant is slippery.
And you mentioned something earlier in the show about when you're moving your feet, it's hard to move your head.
Yeah.
When you're moving your head, it's hard to move your feet. But man, he moves that upper body when he's caught in that corner beautifully, doesn't he?
Yep. And that's what I mean. See, Grant, when he's more flat-footed, he's got good reflexes, good head movement. You know, but he's also not bouncing around. See, when he's moving, he's just taking the steps in and out of range. He knows how to make Bargallo miss just ever so slightly, and that will put him in position to counter just like that. Because if you make a big slip, you put yourself out of position and out of range to counter. And that's why another reason why Gotti Grant was processing earlier on and not punching back, because he was getting the range as to how far he has to slip from Bargallo before he can start countering. You see right there, he's looking for that big counter, just missed it there though.
Good flurry. A Both landed. And you can see from the style and profile of Jarod Grant why his coach said years ago he reminded him of the great Arturo Gatti because of the way he used to fight in the amateurs. Of course, Gatti, the Canadian, a Hall of Famer inducted back in 2007 at that great trilogy with Mickey Ward. 1 minute on the clock, round 3. Good head movement by Jorge Bargallo.
I think that was an accident. He just kind of followed through with a missed right hand. See Grant, look at how comfortable he is now at closer range. You see what I'm saying? Right?
Yep.
He was processing. Now Grant is at close range, so he can shoot a jab when he wants to, but he's also comfortable at this range because he feels like he can make Bargallo miss anytime he wants, even at close range. So that now the mental pressure starts, you see? Now Grant is in front of Bargallo. Bargallo still can't land, but you're bringing it to him.
If it's accidental, can it still be good head movement though, Paulie?
Yeah, sure. It's a slip, right?
It's a slip, there you go. It's a slip.
10 seconds.
Final seconds of the third, midway point of this fight. Nicely done. Ryan Perez, the longtime coach of Jarod Grant.
Funny thing is, Bargallo aggravates Grant all around, and then at the end he wants to be friends. I think Grant is getting tired of it. He's barely touching his clear hand now, and Bargallo sticks out his hand at the end of the round.
Over here. That's from him. That's from him. Oh, okay. I need you to step up. He's tired too. I need you to step it up. Come on. You're keeping him in the fight.
Our main event continues. Round number 4. Jarod Grant. 7 professional bare knuckle wins. 6 of those he finished. Unbeaten in the Trigon, as is Jorge Bargallo with that 1-0 record.
You see what Bargallo just tried to do after Grant is in the clinch. He tried to pick him up. That's why Grant is getting aggravated with him about touching gloves, touching hands at the end of the round. It's things like that.
Can the gamemanship take the attention away from an opponent? With Jarod Grant, it certainly doesn't seem so, or very likely at this point.
It's not the lack of trying for Bargallo, but again, Grant keeping it.
Great flurry. Quick hands from Bargallo, a nice counter right from Grant. Bargallo went right back to business.
Yeah. But again, a lot not landing clean enough to really bother
Right.
Grant. And that's why Grant can still keep that poker face and stay right in front of Bargallo.
The heaviest punch that landed in that exchange was the counter right.
Yeah, yeah. And see again, Grant, look, counter right hand there, partially lands, but nonetheless, he's still comfortable at this range in front of Bargallo. It's Bargallo burning a lot of energy.
Grant just fought gloved back on February 1st in Fort Lauderdale. Earned a victory, the 3rd of his professional glove career. Tonight he's looking to become a champion inside the Trigon. Walk away with the interim lightweight title. Julio Tenori Rodriguez, I'm sure, is watching very closely.
Good right hand there by Bargallo, maybe the best shot of the fight that he's landed.
Big swing and a miss on the counter.
Don't go over his wrist. Don't grab his wrist.
1 minute. Round 4. A lot of energy still for both fighters.
Yeah.
But with not a lot of clinching.
Yeah, true. But Bargallo is still burning a lot of energy. He's throwing a lot of hard punches, and he's coming forward. Grant knows how to relax in there. He's got that boxing experience. And a good jab by Grant there. Nice jab there, but a little short right hand actually from Bargallo.
Bargallo 96 amateur club boxing bouts.
No way. No way. I don't believe that.
You know what? He told a lie on his bio.
No way. Oh, nice kind of left hook. Nice kind of left hook by Grant. No way this guy is 96 club. No way. I don't even know if he had one, but he's got a lot of fight in him. I'll give him credit, but I don't know if he knows how to box.
So he is 96. You say maybe 95 less than that.
Yeah, maybe 96 less than that. You know what? I would say use some feints off before you punch. You know, maybe get Grant to make that first initial defensive move, because Grant's defensive moves are sharp and they're slick, and they force Bargallo to sort of start reaching and get himself out of position. So maybe try to see if you can put Grant out of position with some feints or even some level changes. Bend down a little bit, some level changes. Just show it. You know, you don't even have to necessarily punch off it all the time, but just show it. Bargallo, that's what I'm saying about a guy with 96 amateur fights would know these things on his own.
Right.
And he doesn't do any of those.
And for Jarod Grant, more of the same, right?
Yeah. Well, Grant, you know, he's only thing maybe a little more output, but I think he's still winning the fight anyway. But the only thing you're risking with the no output is that a lot of times the Florida Commission, they like to reward aggression even if it's not effective. And we're in Florida.
Yes, we are. The second round knockdown.
That was a sweet right hand there by Grant.
Yep, the second round knockdown from Grant when Bargallo went flying, flipped, and got back up.
I told you, Bargallo has enough of a crazy gene in his head. You see, he gets hit with these big shots, he smiles, he sticks out his tongue, wants to still exchange and fight, but Grant's not going to give him that. Nice counter shots there by Grant again, setting up beautifully. You can see that you can see when you give me the amateur experience of Grant, I can see it. Actually, he fights even better than a guy who's had about 50 amateur fights. You know, he's got a good pedigree. You can see it. You can see in his reactions and his sense of timing and his sense of comfort at range. The selection of what he chooses to do, that's where you see the experience. And that's been the difference here for Bargallo. Because for Bargallo, it's not been for lack of trying. He's got a lot of heart. It's just Grant is better.
Minute to work here in round 5.
Come on, you're okay, let's go. Come on, let's go.
Bargallo's calling his own low blow. The referee's saying no.
Yeah, Wayne Spinola says, let's go.
I don't know if that was low or not. Maybe the truck can get the replay, but it looks like, you know, Bargallo's getting to the point where he's trying to referee his own fights. He's getting uncomfortable. And Grant is starting to sense a stoppage. He's starting to up the pressure a little bit. Bargallo's starting to look uncomfortable. Is he looking for a way out? Let's see.
Stop, break up. When I say stop, you gotta stop. I'm not hitting you. My time. You hit him after I said stop. Okay, you hit him after I said break. Just give him a second.
Bargallo's going to get booed here for this.
That was in the ribs. I'm giving you a break. Listen to me. I'm giving you a break because he hit you after I said break. You ready to go? Let's go. Fight.
That was a little low, but it wasn't low. It wasn't low below the cup low. It was
right. And Wayne
oh, good shot again.
Wayne Spinola did say, I'm giving you a break because it was a little low.
Yeah. And he's wearing a cup, so that shot actually landed on the cup anyway, on the upper side of the cup, not underneath the cup, which is where it actually hurts for guys, you know?
Of course, if it was the tie cup and Joe Rogan was talking about it, he'd tell everybody how it really hurt.
But I don't know the tie cup.
Yeah, maybe because of the rope and the steel.
Yeah.
Ready? Fight! Sixth and final round. 3 minutes remain. Jarod Grant, red and black trunks, white trunks for Jorge Bargallo.
Back up, both of you. Back up.
Jarod Grant scored a knockdown in round number 2, and a nice right hand landed there.
Stop! Break clean, back up. Both of you, back up. Here we go. Fight. Stop. He's allowed to clinch. Let's go. Fight.
You see Grant continuing to step to Bargallo now. Even if he's not bringing all the physical pressure all the time, he steps to him and he's creating that mental stress on Bargallo because he senses Bargallo sort of fading. So sometimes that mental pressure can make a guy start getting tired and fading even without having to hit him. Because you've done the good hitting earlier on in the fight.
Under 2 minutes.
See again, Grant has the distance set well, really nicely. Makes Bargallo just miss ever so slightly. And that way he doesn't give Bargallo a break because Grant doesn't go anywhere. You see, even the punches thrown don't get Grant away from Bargallo.
Back up. Don't be a backup, please.
Swing and a miss, but he landed the left on the way back.
A little short right hand by Bargallo and then good jab by Grant.
Double jab from Jorge Bargallo. Kid Gotti getting some Bargallo flipping off the crowd.
I tell you, he's a lively guy.
My name is Jorge, not Jarod.
Yeah, I tell you, he's a lively guy. I tell you, he's got just enough of a crazy gene in his head to make him interesting and give him that bliss to not have to have the fear that he maybe should have,
Yep.
And Grant, again, continue that mental pressure. Continue this stalk. And a little bit of that physical as well. A little wide on that counter right hand, but still
Final 30 seconds, Paulie.
The guy is not punching back anymore. It's Grant who's the one punching, and the guy is the one just trying to clinch. Good shot there by Grant.
10 seconds. Finish it out. Finish it out.
They're going to go the full 6.
Finish it out. Let's go.
And it's going to be in the hands of the judges, Jarod Grant and Jorge Bargallo.
After 6 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Judges Walker, Serrano, and Flutie see it 58-55, while Judge Larson sees it 57-56. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision and the new interim BKB lightweight champion, Jarod "Kid" Gotti Grant.
See what I mean about the score? This commission, Goldie. It's wild. It's a wild thing over here, man.
It is.
If you, as long as you follow the leader and you're following the guy, you may actually get a win you don't deserve. I didn't think he won any rounds.
Kid Gotti Grant, now with Duval on his shoulder once again in your bare knuckle career. How does it feel? Interim championship, but still a world championship. How does it feel to get the win tonight?
You want me to be completely honest, man? I'm a real humble guy, and I think I perform like shit. I know I fight way better than that. Props to my opponent for stepping up. Without him, I wouldn't have had this fight. I pushed myself. I think I got the knockdown. That's what got me the win. But I could do a lot better.
Now, there are few fighters that are that composed in the corner inside the trigon. You wait for that counter. You hit it multiple times tonight. Is that just something you practice and work on, kind of bait him in?
Yeah, man, I have to give thanks to my coach, Ryan Perez. He's the one that pushed me in the corner, man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have won this belt tonight. He pushed me.
Now, I only have a couple more questions for you. Now that you have this title, BKB, what do you want to do? Do you want to be the undisputed outright champion next?
Listen, I know I didn't perform that well tonight, but guess what? Julio has a mandatory ass whooping with me now.
Love that. Jarod, I believe there's one other thing you want to say. Is that correct? One more? Okay. Let's get that belt down. Ready?
Caitlin, will you marry me?
What a night.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the happy couple and for the new champion, Jarod "Kid Gotti" Grant.